Senator Whitehouse, do you want to go ahead and go?
Sure. Thanks, Chairman. If you don't mind, could I start my questioning in just a moment and make a point of order or an observation? I didn't want to interrupt the questioning of Mr. Bovee. The chairman had signaled that he didn't want any further interruptions. But I did want to point out, with respect to my concern, that Mr. Bovee was failing.
You don't have a point of order regarding this panel.
No, the previous one.
If you would just hold that until we're through this, and you're more than welcome to do it at the end of the
Do you mind if I
hearing.
do it now? I'm here. It'll just take a minute.
Go ahead and start your questioning so we can keep the record clean. So go ahead and ask your questions.
Mr. Pratt, is it true that you are a fellow at Claremont Institute Center for Constitutional Jurisprudence, founded and run by John Eastman?
I was a John Marshall Fellow. I believe that year is correct. I believe that's correct, Senator.
Are you aware of Mr. Eastman's role in supplying Donald Trump with the false argument that Vice President Pence could overturn the 2020 election?
I don't have personal knowledge of the situation you're describing. I'm aware generally of news reports and headlines, but I would say that my knowledge is very limited, Senator.
Your knowledge on that is limited to what you've read in the public media?
That's correct.
You haven't had conversations with Eastman about it?
No, I don't. I've not had a conversation.
Is it true that you are a senior counsel at First Liberty Institute, an institute overseen by Kelly Shackelford?
Yes, that's right, Senator.
Are you aware that in December of 2020, Kelly Shackelford signed a letter urging United States senators to try to overturn the 2020 election?
So I don't recall the content precisely of that letter, Senator, and I'm not prepared to speak about the characterization of that letter. I do know that he signed a letter in about that time frame concerning the general subject matter of the election.
Have you discussed that letter with Mr. Shackelford?
No, I have not.
Do you know Ken Klakowski, who was also senior counsel at First Liberty?
I believe I have met him twice.
Are you aware of his role in helping Jeffrey Clark draft the letter that Clark wanted the Department of Justice to send to states, specifically Georgia, in an effort to overturn the 2020 election?
I'm not, Senator.
And have you had any conversation in those two meetings with Mr. Klakowski with him regarding that letter or that effort?
I don't recall ever having a conversation with him about that, no.
Do you know Jeffrey Clark, who wrote that letter?
He worked at the Department of Justice during the same time frame that I was there. I believe that I had been in maybe a couple of meetings where maybe his staff was present, and I saw him in the hallway, but I don't know him well, Senator, no.
And you did not discuss with him that letter?
No, Senator.
Okay. You are a fellow at the Leo 9 Forum, which I guess is not Leonard Leo in the number 9. It's as in like a lion. Do you know Leonard Leo? He's involved in that group.
I have met Mr. Leo on a couple of occasions. It's been a while since I've seen him, Senator.
Do you agree with President Trump's comments that he is a sleazebag who hates America?
So, Senator, I understand that you're asking me to comment on posts that the president has made on social media. As a sitting judge and as a nominee to a federal vacancy, it would be inappropriate for me to comment on the content of the president's social media feed. The canons preclude me from stating a position on matters of public and political controversy.
Okay, let's turn to experience. How many cases have you personally tried to verdict or final judgment in court before a judge or jury?
My judiciary questionnaire should list the cases. I believe as lead counsel that would be 2, Senator.
Have you ever drafted a complaint?
I have, Senator, yes.
Have you ever drafted an answer?
Yes, I believe so. Maybe not in total, but certainly in part.
Have you ever conducted pretrial discovery?
Depends on what you mean by conduct. I have been on teams that have been involved in discovery matters and have supervised trial teams, and I have argued in opposition to a motion to compel.
Have you ever conducted a voir dire?
I have not, Senator, no.
Have you ever conducted a direct examination of a courtroom witness?
So, Senator, during my time as an attorney, I have focused on appellate matters, issues and appeals.
So the answer would be no to that?
I believe the answer is no, Senator.
Have you ever conducted a cross-examination of a courtroom witness?
Again, Senator, it's the same answer. My practice did not
And have you
focus
ever
on
argued
matters.
a motion in limine?
No, Senator, I don't believe that I have. Again, my practice is centered on issues and appeals. I have practiced at every level of the state and federal court system. I've handled matters in federal and state trial courts, federal and state appellate courts, and the U.S. and Florida Supreme Courts.
My time has expired.
Thank you, Senator Whitehouse. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Artow,